Tonight, we got the Godfather of Naked and Afraid himself, EJ Snyder. Stay tuned.
Talking Junk Network,
where entertainment lives.
Welcome to Talking Junk.
I'm your host, Jason Melendez.
Live now every week on Fridays.
Talking Junk.
A multitude of professionals in different aspects, different walks of life.
You have to come on and talk junk like a normal person.
Tonight's episode is sponsored by Dizzle, the premium luxury liqueur straight out of California. Get yours now. Go to dizzlebrand.com and see which distributor ships straight to your house. It is amazing. It is a 80 proof liqueur, mango mixture with cognac and tequila, little hints of citrus in there. This thing mixes with everything. Be sure to go get yours now. And we are also sponsored tonight by Heaven's Pantry's Excalibur, the only 100% vegan chocolate energy bar that tastes just like a brownie. You cannot go wrong with this. You can get a couple of hours of energy off of this, and I'm sure our guests would concur that in the wild, when you're on your survival mode, you need stuff like this. 6 simple ingredients: dates, cashews, almonds, cocoa powder, coconut oil, sprinkled with a little bit of sea salt, makes for the perfect brownie. 100% vegan. Go to Amazon now and use the promo code HP Street to get 20% off your first order. And then Talk Junk 69 to get 10% off every order after. Welcome to Talking Junk, the podcast that comes to you live every Friday night. I'm your host, Jason Melendez, and we have a wonderful guest for you tonight. I'm not going to diddly-daddle and do all the spiel like I usually do. This man deserves a bigger introduction than I can give him. He's been on multiple survival shows. He's an Army veteran. He is the one and only EJ Snyder. How you doing tonight, EJ?
Hey, what's going on, Jason? Thanks for having me. Hey, everybody out there, what's going on? Hopefully everyone's going to start off their weekend proper in a safe manner, grabbing your favorite beverage, toast up to America. Because you know what? Even in all our troubles, we're the best you still got out there, and I can testify that because I've seen a lot of this world.
Oh, yeah. You've seen most of it. We've seen you see some of it, just a portion of it.
Yeah, and some of it I did it naked, out there just walking around with my derriere hanging out, and sometimes try to tear off my testicles doing it.
Oh man, that when you impaled yourself, that was the oof. I felt it over here.
Yeah, I think everybody and every time you replay it, I think every man on the globe grabs their family jewels and praise that never happens to them. And trust me, that's not something you want to repeat.
No, I'm sure. I'm sorry, there was a little bit of a delay there. I'm sure that wasn't the worst, but it ranks up there. It's probably top 5.
Yeah, for me, it was just like business as usual. I've always been a klutz in my life, and always something's going to happen. I'm going to fall over, bump my head, be bleeding somewhere, scraped up. But I just kind of rough and tumble through it. And when that happened, it was like, no way, not on day 27. I'm not even at halfway point. And I'm like, is this the way I go out? This cannot be. And yeah, once I went around the backside and took a look for myself and assessed the situation, I said, okay, we can do this. And then that's when I revealed what happened to everybody. And then it was like,
oof.
Get the stitches. Let's go. Oh, no, we don't have time for painkillers. sun's going down. Start stitching because we got to get firewood.
Oh yeah, you got something to eat. Got to get something.
Yeah, no, that night was going to get very cold, and I didn't have a stick of firewood already. I didn't have a stick collected up. I was by myself, and there's no way I wanted to be cold that night. That was my biggest fear.
Right.
It was getting cold, so I made sure, lickety split, let's stitch this up. Let me go get some firewood for the night because I'm going to have to keep the boys warm. And that's what I did. As soon as they got done stitching, I'm like, we good? Fine. Off I went to go get firewood because nobody else was going to get it for me.
Now, growing up in Jersey, could you even imagine your life being what it is today?
No, I even tell everybody back home, like a lot of my classmates from high school, and they're like, hey, Jersey toy, hey, Jay, hey, how the heck you do this stuff? Huh? When you grew up as a kid, and I was a hooligan, I was a street guy. And but what a lot of people didn't know is like my biological father, when he would have us on the weekends, me and my kid brother, because my parents divorced when I was pretty young, he would take us out hunting and fishing and trapping, camping, and the outdoors was his sanctuary, and I really fell in love with it. And I always felt I belonged out there. And so when I went in the Army, and I went in as an infantryman, it really played well to me to be outside all the time, and I was doing a lot of that. Then I went to Ranger School in 1988, and in the Ranger Handbook, and when you went to each phase of Ranger School, you go through 4 phases. You do a woodlands and city phase down in Georgia, down in Fort Benning, and then you go off to the mountains of the North Georgia mountains, and you do mountain phase. Then you go to Florida for the swamp phase, and then you finished up in the desert out in Utah at the time. And in that book, everywhere we went, we got a little taste of survival for that environment. And then when I was on patrol and we're staying up real late, and getting smoked, I would read that book, and I would read the survival section over and over again because it was so interesting. It would keep me awake so I wouldn't get in trouble. And then later on, I became a ranger instructor in 95 in the swamps of Florida. And they made me the primary survival and tracking instructor. So they sent me to tracking school. And then I went to the Army SEER school, which is the Army Survival School. And then I was hooked, and it became a passion for my life. And at that time, we were approaching Y2K, year 2000. All hell was going to break loose. So I wanted to make sure I was the best on the planet to survive and be the most badass survivors on the planet. That was my intentions. That was my goal from that point. I'm not going to say it in year 2000 that was me, but I was pushing towards it. And then when I retired from the Army, I got into some acting and TV and stunt work. And then I was teaching survival as a contractor at the Special Warfare Center to Green Berets. And all of a sudden, my world crossed over. Discovery found me, recruited me to try out for dual survival, picked another guy over me, and they said, hey, we'll call you. And then they called me about a really brand new, crazy survival show. They wanted me to film the pilot because I had the best survival skills they had got from somebody that they had found in a long time. And lo and behold, this January will be 10 years from that day that me and Kelly Neitlinger stepped out into the Serengeti Plains in Tanzania, and history was made. And so I filmed the pilot episode, none of us knowing what we were doing, had no idea that I would be part of history with 15 seasons of regular Naked Afraid, so many little specials in between, and I think we're on 9 or 10 XLs. And still 2.6 million viewers in all that time. I mean, it's crazy. It is a crazy ride.
It sure is a crazy show. Now, circling back just a second, you fought in the Gulf and Iraqi War, so you're a seasoned veteran. Yes, I fought in 2 wars. I'm a highly decorated veteran. I was 24 years old when I went to my first war, which was the 1991 Gulf War, Operation Desert Shield and Desert Storm. I was with the 82nd Airborne. We were called to go in first to draw the line in the sand against Saddam Hussein and his horde of Iraqi fighters. And I was the youngest platoon sergeant at 24 years old in that division, and had only been in the Army maybe 6 years or so. And then
and then I stayed in the Army for a total of 25 years. And the last time I deployed in 2004 for 15 months to northern Iraq during Operation Iraqi Freedom. We were in the second phase of that campaign, and a pretty big gunfight. By that time I was a sergeant major. That's the highest enlisted rank you can obtain, and fought in that war with my guys up there in northern Iraq, and it was an experience, and the military taught me a lot. I loved every minute of it, and it helped mold me and shape me in life, because I was a poor kid in Jersey. I'm living proof. If you have a dream, you don't give up on it. You chase that dream to the point of I always wanted to be on TV since I was a young kid. The reason I joined the Army was my mom said, "Oh, you'll never make it. You'll starve to death. You can't. I won't allow it." And I was like, "Oh, really? Okay." So I went in the Army to just get some money for college and figure out my life, and it just seemed to fit me, and I stayed there. And I was a senior leader. I was in the foxhole probably all but maybe 2 years out of 25 years, where I was, leading from the front. I was in your face, lead by example kind of leader. And, I'm grateful for that time. And now I'm on the next chapter of my life. And, here I am, 206 days of naked survival, 6 challenges, no taps, never ever thought of it. They kind of made it out like my last one was my retirement, but they've already asked me back twice. So I'm pretty sure there's one more battle in me. I didn't fare so well on my last one as far as I would have loved to. I showed up to help. That was what was required, and did my 43 days. But I didn't get to bring in the item I wanted. Everyone, Matt, Jeff, they got their items, and that was fine. I love those 2 guys. Everybody knows how I feel about Jeff, and Matt's the one guy I've always wanted to journey with, and man, is that guy good with his bow. And he is just amazing to watch in person. It's if I didn't see it with my own eyes, I'd swear we were doing CGI on that guy. He is an incredible person, incredible human being, great, one of the best survivalists that you'll ever find out there. And he's very humble. And but I got out there, and they gave me a Cayman spear to go out there with, because I have no problem sticking a gator, but Cayman act way different than gator, so it really wasn't a useful item. And then Tim Phillips left a blow dart gun behind, which I've never touched in my life, and thought, well, this will at least give me some distance. Maybe I can make it work. I don't know. It's pretty crazy looking. It's kind of interesting. And what a steep learning curve trying to hunt with that thing, probably the hardest weapon to hunt with on the planet in the Amazon. And so, so off I went, tried to do my best, try to keep the team together and provide for my team. So it was really frustrating. And then I wasn't dealing with the heat really well for the first time in my life, and really didn't understand why until I got back out. And then that's when I discovered I had a heat intolerance and pretty much a cold intolerance, because I have hypothyroidism. And I wound up with a gluten allergy, and I was just catching hell out there through that stuff. It's no excuses for me. I was out there, I chipped up, I was hurting, but I tried not to be a burden to anybody. I tried to, pull my own and do my best. So I would like one more shot out there, just to, now that I got everything under control and had been on medication for it and everything, and feeling a lot better. I'd like to get back out there just one more time and give it one more go. And but if that was it, that was it. I mean, what a great group of folks to pass things on to. I mean, Waz and Dan were just amazing. I love that kid Dan. He brought me to the tree, and I didn't even think we were in the same spot where I was 8 years earlier, because I went to that same spot 8 years prior. A lot of people forget that. But me and Laura Zara went to the Amazon in season 2 when 3 people quit the Amazon. So the Amazon right there, we had 19 people go out there. I went out there twice to that same location, and only me and Laura made it out of there. And then this time only 6 of us. So that place claimed.
The Amazon sure does claim its victims.
Oh, it sure does.
It claims it very quickly.
So, Jen and Trish made it. Their 40 days. Hats off to them. And then we had the other, me and the other 5 made it out of there. So if you count all those people to make it out of that Amazon, that's 7, me and Laura, 8, 9.
Now, Trish is currently doing Frozen, right?
What's that?
Trish is currently doing Frozen.
She did Frozen. Yeah, Trish did Frozen. People give Trish a little bit of a bad rap. Her and Amber didn't quite get along so well, and there was a bit of drama there on some of that. Me personally, I would have handled that situation obviously way different because of the way I have a certain rapport with people. And if I'm not getting along with them, if you're going to be in a shelter talking shit about me, I'm going to put my big frame in the doorway and say, come again? Because I'm going to call you out right there on the spot. I'm not going to walk away and not deal with it. But, you know, everybody's different. And when you hear some harsh things about you, sometimes, you know, Amber felt best to just walk away and try and deal with it another day. But in the end, you know, Trish is a really good survivalist. Everybody that goes out and tries and attempts this thing, they got to have your hats off to them. I mean, some people get in over their head. They don't make it. I work with casting. I interview everybody. I probably interviewed 97% of the cast that's ever been casted. Since season 3, I've been doing the interviews with casting, screening people to see, do they have the skills? Do they have the mental fortitude, the physical prowess to go out there and give it a shot?
And this is why you're the Godfather.
What's again, buddy?
And this is why you're the Godfather of Naked and Afraid.
Thanks, man. But, you know, I take it very serious. This is no joke. It is. People say, oh, it's scripted. The producers help. Bull cocky. That doesn't go on.
I mean, you can tell from the dramatic weight loss.
Yeah, I mean, it's the most real challenge you're going to face. And, yeah, alone is another challenge in survival world. And they go through different things, but they get 20 items in clothes. Guess what I would do with 20 items in clothes? I'd be out there for a freaking year. They'd have to pull me in, right? But to go out there and everyone says, why naked? Why naked? Well, clothing's your first layer of shelter physically. You take that away, and now you also take away a psychological layer of shelter. You know, you bear to the world. All your inadequacies or all your pride and joy out there for everyone to see. And
I'm sure every article of clothing can be used as a different material, a different item in a survival situation.
Yeah, and so and it's amazing, you know, experiment on seeing the human spirit and what they can handle. And so I go through these people, and you know, I'll approve some for fan episodes, some for 21 days, and there's a lot that I'll approve for 21 days that have no business until they get more training going for 40 days. You can kind of tough it out 3 weeks by the laws of 3.
Right.
But you can't do that for 40 days or more. You have to have some kind of skill set to really be a part of a team out there and make it happen.
Right. Now, you've done a couple of other shows also. You did Dual Survivalist with Jeff afterwards.
Yep.
I see Jeff, he has a new show coming out, and Matt is currently working on funding for a show that he's trying to bring to light.
Who's this?
Jeff, I've seen on his Instagram, he currently has a show coming out with, I believe, with Discovery. And Matt's trying to do his thing, trying to get funding for a show that he's trying to do. Do you see a solo show for you in the future?
Well, you know, TV is very funny, very fickle. You think you have the right idea, someone's already pitched it or tried it or whatever, and I'm always open to doing something. And I've been on a lot of slates. I hosted a show called Mountain Masters. I was on First Man Out. I've been blessed to do a lot of TV. But with that, yeah, there's Steven's out there trying to fund a show, and that's great. Doesn't mean it's going to get to series. And you know, I love all those guys. I love everybody, and I wish them all the best. But to carry your own show by yourself, it's very difficult. You don't see a lot of single hosts anymore. You see a lot of shows where they're pairing people up, man and a woman, doing teams. They love those ensemble things now, and seems to be the flavor of the day. So I'm doing a lot of things on my own website, ejsnyder.com. So if you haven't gone to my website and signed up with your email so you get all the updates, the blogs, the newsletters, all the special sales I have going on, get over there. We've got the ultimate bug-in and home defense film, which is, as we learned through the pandemic, 95% of the world's just going to bug in. They're not bugging out anywhere. And that's a great tutorial for you to get ready for bad days ahead. So this is what I'm empowered to do, is get my website, offer training, speaking engagements, appearances. I do campfire chats to sell gear. Like I've got anything you want in terms of a survival gear, bug out bags, survival kits. So we're actually getting ready to increase that by 5, what we have there already. But then we have the videos. So you got the videos for learning, which you were seeing there a little while ago. Here, right here is my survival skills series that I filmed during the summer of COVID 2020. 11 videos all in one package where you can get it for streaming in little pieces. But I get all my basics out there to you like I teach in my basics class. I got 3 shelter videos in there, 1 fire, 1 water, 1 food. Then I do 2 part video on tips, hacks, and tricks of the trade, a 2-part series on the tools of the trade, show you how to use the tools of survival and whatnot. And then we finish it up with a knife only, where I go out with just a knife, put myself in a scenario, spend like 3 or 4 days out there and get to rescue. And so that's a great series, and that's there. And we're getting ready to turn the Ultimate Bug-In Home Defense Film into a book. I'm meeting with Pegwood Publishing to get that going. But my thing now is I'm getting I have some investors coming in to sponsor EJ Snyder. And I want to, my YouTube channel right now is Survive with EJ. So if you haven't subscribed over there, Survive with EJ over at YouTube, get to my page. And when you get there, go ahead and sign up, subscribe. I was hacked. I used to have over 100,000 subscribers. I lost them all because I got hacked. They deleted my channel or whatever they did to it. So I'm rebuilding. But in this spring, I'm getting ready to do a survival series with Mr. Beast. And you're not going to want to miss it because Mr. Beast, man, he's the biggest thing on YouTube. Great young guy. Jimmy's doing amazing things. He's a philanthropist. He's very, very generous with his money. But we're going to do a survival series of 7 videos with him. But my YouTube channel is getting ready to blow up with that. And we're putting money into it. And what I'm going to start doing is doing these little videos. Survival, the edge of survival. And like I'm going to do stuff like me and Jeff go out there. We'll call it Double Edge. And me and Jeff will do it right there. We're probably going to put it on my YouTube channel as a series for you to watch. We're going to do it either 30 minutes to 60 minutes, but it's going to be a whole episode, just like Dual Survival, something similar, where we go out, we get the survival thing, and you get the whole bang, bang, boom with me and Jeff like you like so much. And all the yelling too, yeah! And so it's going to be huge. And this will get you a place to go. And we're going to be able to produce, I want to try and put one of these out every 2 weeks. And we're going to have a really good camera crew, top notch, top of the line, sound, everything, have professional editors with music, the whole works, and put it together. So I love TV. It's a great medium to get the message out. But my website and YouTube and TikTok and all my social medias, I mean, you can go over to my website, get all my social media links. But most of them, if you look me up on Twitter and Instagram, it's at EJ Snyder 333. EJ Snyder, blue check on all of them. But EJ Snyder over at Facebook, that's my fan page. And then on TikTok, it's at EJ Snyder 333 as well. But we're going to put out so much great survival content, teaching you how to get ready for bad days ahead. Just did people talk about, I can't afford a survival kit. And I went to a dollar store and built the dollar store survival kit for like $30. And I talk about how you can even get it cheaper and more stuff in that. And that video is coming out next week with my blog. So make sure you sign up at ejsnyder.com. And I just did an EDC because we got crime is rampant throughout the country right now.
Yes, it is.
People are getting mugged in subways. You're taking your kid to school, getting shot.
It's getting ready to get crazy in Chicago.
Yeah. Oh, my God. It's horrible. And I want everyone to be safe. So now just going out your door is a survival situation. So I talk about everything outside of a firearm that you could possibly carry. I give you some suggestions to, give yourself a fighting chance, not be a victim. And I want everybody to be okay. So this is really important to me. I've been starting to be a regular. I've been a regular on a lot of news networks like CNN, MSNBC, GMA. But recently I've been on Fox a lot with Dan Bongino and his show Unfiltered, as well as Kennedy on Kennedy Nation and Fox Business News, and now I'm getting ready to be a regular for anything about survival and bad days and natural disasters. I'm going to be on a lot of segments coming up, so it's just getting the word out there, and it's about teaching the everyday Joe or Joan how to take care of themselves and their loved ones. And so I've re-engaged myself. I'm reinvesting. I've revamped my entire website's brand new since January
amazing.
this year. And I love TV, but with my website and my YouTube channel, I'm the boss. I get to give you the content that you want to see, and you still get the EJ flair. It's just like if you get this video off my website, I'm going to teach you survival. But you're going to get all EJ's humor, all EJ's quirks, all the fun and fun and all that stuff that goes with it. And that's just how I live life. My Ultimate Bug-In film's the same way. And, and we're getting ready to do one book with this company, but probably several. So a lot of great things coming up. And did I tell you something? I'm building a pickle company. That's right. Who'd have thought EJ Snyder would be involved with pickles? So I'm partnered with 2 other veterans. We're all disabled vets. We're going to make a patriotic themed pickle. Red, white, blue labels, the whole bit. Going to look like a fireworks stand when you see us. And these are the best tasting pickles on the planet. I love eating pickles. I've always loved them. I love getting those gourmet pickles, anywhere you can get them at the delis. Well, my friend's got his grandma's old world recipe. Oh, it literally is the best pickle I've ever tasted.
I got one question.
What's that?
I got one question about the pickles. Are they cold cured or are they heat cured?
Say that one more time.
Are they cold cured or are they heat cured?
Heat cured. They're going to be heat cured.
Cured.
But I'm not saying that we're not going to do cold pickles too. We're going to do everything with the pickle. Put it in a jar, put it in a plastic container, refrigerate it, not refrigerate. We're going to be everywhere. We got our mascot is Sergeant Pickle Crusher, a World War II looking paratrooper pickle with a hot pickle chomping out of his mouth, not a cigar, and his pickle gun. And we're going to take over every picnic in this country, every refrigerator, one pickle crunch at a time. And it's going to be amazing. Our hot pickles are called Firework Frenzy. We got our Patriot Dill pickles, which are Patriot Dill missiles. And so we got all the line figured out. We're going to do, how everybody likes picklebacks at the bars? Right. We got pickle blast, because when you get our juice in your mouth, it's like explosion going on there. You're going to full of flavor. It's going to be an unbelievable adventure, and pickle pouches in every gas station. So we've got this thing figured out. We're just waiting for the investors to close on us, and pretty soon Sergeant Pickle Crusher and his army are going to come see you with all the pickles out there. And what we're going to do is give a lot of the money back to veteran causes, and we have a plan at every one of our canneries and farms is we're going to get homeless veterans and veterans in need, bring them in, house them, give them a job, give them a purpose, and profit share, and take care of them.
Wow.
Give them a new purpose in life. And so that's the long-term goal.
Well, when you guys get your pickle empire up and running, I'd love to have you and your partners on to talk about your cause. That's an amazing cause.
Well, thank you very much. It's a dream. It was my partner's dreams, and then they didn't know how to quite make it realize. And I'm an idea guy. I'm a creation man. I'm a force to be reckoned with. They called me the Skull Crusher from my fighting days. And as I kept that persona, people knew, Skull Crusher going to come kick your door, and don't tell him no. He won't take no for an answer. So now I'm going to crush some pickles and crush some other things. But, I'm just driven in life and watching dreams come true. And I'm living proof again of a little boy that wanted to be on TV and be an actor and whatever right in front of you. And I'm 56 and I'm not done yet. So.
Hey, you look good for your age, man. You're doing things that 56-year-olds nowadays won't even have the courage to do. So my hat's off to you. And I hope to see you on many more Naked and Afraids or whatever venture, television-wise, YouTube-wise, that you choose to do. And if you guys are on location and you guys decide to come to Florida, let me know. Take a novice with you.
We're at Florida.
Sorry, it delayed a little bit. I am in Sanford, so I'm not too far from Orlando, but it's
Oh,
only a car ride away. So wherever you
yeah.
guys are,
Well,
I
we
can
we
be.
are we are starting our first farm in Citra, Florida.
Okay, that sounds great.
Yeah, and we're going to be in every gas station in Florida. We got a connection down there, so it's going to be pretty cool. And yeah, we're really excited about that. It's going to be a big thing. And like I said, if they call me, I will come. They know that. I've been called twice now for Naked Afraid. I got 6 challenges, no taps, 206 days, and twice, and both times for the Amazon, I got a phone call in the middle of the night and said, "Hey, we need you." And I went and I dropped everything in life and headed out the door to go help. When people in trouble or somebody says it can't be done, I come. And I'm a guaranteed poker chip. Shit, I almost tore my balls off, and I stayed anyway. So
Yeah, we were
they
talking
know
about
that.
that off screen, and that was
And I'm not ranked the number 1 survivalist of 100 known
it was
survivalists in the
horrible for
world
us
for
sitting at home,
nothing.
so I could imagine.
Yeah. I mean, I'm not ranked the number 1 survivalist in the world out of 100 known survivalists for nothing. I mean, my skill set is broad, it's real world, and my skills are many. And there's 8 pillars, not counting leadership and teamwork, of survival. And every one of those pillars is just important as the next. And a lot of people put way too much emphasis on food. Food's important. It fuels you. Yes, sir. But, if food does you no good if you can't cook it with fire.
Right.
You
Fire,
don't get a good
shelter,
night's sleep and in a warm shelter, keeping your body core temperature in check. You're not going to go out hunting. You need water to be able to go out there and just do all the tasks that go on with survival. So a lot of the non-glorious tasks still have to be done, and somebody has to do them. And, and then there's communication, navigation, and, you need a good raft to get you home. And, all those things, medical health is important. And all those dynamics, teamwork and leadership, like I said, is a pillar. And so having good morale, keeping people in the fight, people, they get lonely. We all get lonely out there. They get up, they missing a family, they missing their kids, they're missing a birthday or something. And yeah, I was in the military. It doesn't make it any easier. Those days are special. But I understood how to kind of deal with that because I've been through it for so many years. But I remember sitting there, and me and Max it was about to be Thanksgiving, and we're in the swamps. He had never missed a Thanksgiving with his family, and he's a younger guy, but he was like 30-something. But he had never been away from his family for Thanksgiving. That was the first time. He was so down. And he would ask me, "How do you deal with it?" And I was like, "You just got to find something else to pick you up about it. And now your family is who's with you." And so I was like, "Man, it's you and me, brother. We in this for the fight together, man." And Max was great, man. He saved us some gator ribs for Thanksgiving. And I'm glad he was so disciplined with keeping the jerky away from me because I got no discipline. I look at a thing of jerky like it's a cookie jar.
Oh, I hear you. I do the same thing. I got my daughters the same way. They'll tear up a bag of jerky in minutes. Now I know you're a very busy man. You got a lot of things you're working on. I don't want to keep you too long.
Oh no, we go another 10, 15 minutes because we got started a little late because this guy's not good with electronics.
Hey, it happens, man. We are no stranger on this show to technical difficulties. Now, you said you're gonna start your survival videos on YouTube. Where are you planning to film those? Are you gonna be on location, or are you gonna do it in one isolated place?
Well, we're gonna go over to any kind of exotic location we can find, because when I get my investors, who I'm hoping to have good word on that next week, everyone prayers up, fingers crossed, toes crossed, that this happens to God's ears. But when I get that money, now I'm not going to have to really hustle so much I go to a lot of knife shows, a lot of gun shows, state fairs. I do appearances. That's how I help keep these lights on, So right. I've got to, if I get this money now, I'm not, burdened to do that. It frees me up. I want to go film in Alaska. I want to go film in Idaho, Wyoming, I want to go out to Arizona desert. I want to go to exotic locations and film some stuff that are meaningful in real locations that, not just in someone's backyard teaching you how to do a bow drill. I want to get out there just like we did on Dual Survival and get out in the wild and just show you how these real skills work in a scenario. And that's what I'm going to do. I want to get out there, get in the areas. I'm working on, I'm already in talks with several famous people to go out with me, not just Jeff, but other people that are not really survivalists, and kind of do almost like what Bear Grylls does, not really to take his idea, but bring them out there and get them in the field and get them into survival, yourself as well, and film that. And we'll have that because that's very interesting, seeing regular people out there and what they're going through. And like I said, I'm going to have a professional camera team with me, whole real full up crew, and we're gonna do it right. So when you get it, you're going to be watching a professional piece of work. I was trying to get a documentary going, and we came up short, and it was called Surviving the Border, and we were going to go down into Eagle Pass, Texas, and we have a former DEA agent, or he was Border Patrol. He was going to tell the side of the story of this side of the United States, and then he had connections on the other side of the border, and then he would go there and talk about that side, the Mexican side and what they're dealing with. The authorities, maybe talk to some coyotes, blurred out, whatever. Right. And then I was going to embed and be like a person and tell the human side of it and the survival side of it, of what makes a person leave everything they've done in life, spend their life savings, and then owe money somewhere to the tune of $15,000, $20,000, $25,000 to come to our country. We know why. This is the greatest thing going, right? Right. It should be done legally. But what I want to show is how people are out there in the harsh conditions of what they're braving, the heat, the dehydration, where they get their supplies, how do they live, how do they survive? That's what I want to find out and share, and then also say, well, they're doing it this way. Here's a way they could do it better, and get through it. And it's like they're crossing these rivers and drowning, and there's better ways to cross a water obstacle, which is part of a survival. It's one of the tenets of survival is navigation. Doesn't mean just holding the compass and looking at the sun and stars and figuring out where you're going. It's obstacles. How do you get around them? How do you deal with them? And so I'd really like to get this documentary done. I was trying to get it done this summer, but it was a bridge too far.
I mean, sometimes projects can come up short, but I can guarantee you that it won't be over for that project. You'll get the funding somewhere, because it sounds like something that needs to be done. The survival aspect of how these immigrants are crossing that border and the perils that they have to face are a real thing and should be documented. So that's a great thing.
Yeah, and we're talking not just the natural elements that they got to face between the weather, the terrain, but they also have this human aspect of things that they got to deal with in terms of criminals, what the cartels and some of these coyotes are doing to them. Yep. And then, they're just not treated very well. And, and the other part of it is we don't know everybody that's crossing over. We got probably bad actors coming across, terrorists and whatever else, and all those drugs that are coming across. It's just not a good situation. And I wanted to tell that story so that everybody's story could be told and all of it could be better understood. Not just a lopsided, one-sided part of it. You can sit on whatever side of the political spectrum on this you want to sit. It affects us all no matter what. But I want to tell the three tiers part of that was, surviving the border, U.S. side, Mexican side, and everything in between. And, so I've got a lot of aspirations as a producer and a filmmaker as well. So, I'm just trying to leverage things I have to help make that happen.
Hey, it's happening for you. It's happening. Now, you've been on many excursions. Which was the toughest terrain that you have ever bested?
As far as terrain goes, and if we're just talking naked and afraid, I mean, the Amazon's brutal. It's dangerous in every which way.
Well, we're talking whole life experience.
Okay, and war is always ugly, so I'll just leave that one on the shelf. But I got to tell you, for me personally, I think deserts, and there's people out there that thrive in deserts like crazy. I just particularly don't like them. I think deserts are absolutely, I mean, they're beautiful. I like playing in them. But man, you get out there, and the big threat for me is if I like being able to drink I drink a lot of water.
Okay.
I like staying hydrated. I mean, I can deal with not having a lot of water in my system, but man, a desert makes it so much more difficult. You can go to the episode where me and Jeff were in Utah in the slot canyons, and oh my God, I would never been so thirsty in my life as I was out there, and it was,
I hate the heat too. Excuse me. I hate the heat too. I hate it.
I mean, the heat's one thing. It's the dehydration factor, and how fast you can go down being dehydrated. I watched my friend Jake Zweed. He was on the, I think it was called the Skeleton Coast in Africa. He was on Dude, You're Screwed. Oh, the poor guy. I mean, watching him go through that, then he gets to the ocean and he sees all kinds of salt water. And, you can make salt water work for you, but it's not easy. If you don't have the right stuff, wow, it can be very difficult. But I will say that for me, a desert is not my favorite place to be. I won't say it's the worst terrain to go through, but not my favorite place.
Would you do a Naked and Afraid Frozen?
Absolutely. When they asked me, I said yes. They just decided to go a different direction. I am Arctic survival trained by the Army, so I'm probably one of the very few cast members, if any, that's trained in Arctic survival. When I went to Alaska, Stephen and Laura, I just broke. And I mean, man, why can't I be there talking to them, help them out? Because I mean, they did well. They got through it, but it's not an easy location, and I never poo-poo on anybody's adventure because I'm not there, and you don't know what people are going through, so you can't sit there on a couch and go, "Oh, I could do better. I could do this." That's my favorite thing in the world. Is someone with a faceless avatar, or they got their picture of their dog in there, and they got a fake name, and they think they can just come online and say whatever they want. Listen, I fought to defend your rights, and one of them is the right to freedom of speech. But don't confuse your freedom of speech for the freedom to be rude, insulting, or a dick. And we'll just leave it at that.
Right,
I mean, that stuff irritates the hell out of me. But I would love to do a Frozen because I have been trained in it, and I really would want to go out there and test those skills at that level. And, I didn't get the call. I wished everybody well. And, as I watched people do what they did with their shelters and their different things, even in the swamps where we knew we were going into the winter, and the production asked me, what's going to help people get through this thing? Well, you can count on us to try and shoot some deer or whatever, but hunting in the swamps is very difficult. And especially if it's around hunting season, those animals know what's up. So if we were allowed pelts, that will help. It's not an end all to be all, but your core body temperature and having a proper shelter that's sealed up, heated right, and keeping you warm is critical in a cold weather situation.
What would you what would some steps be to a person that gets lost in the wild and needs to survive the night? What would the 5 basic steps be for them?
Okay, so if a person finds themselves lost in the wild or for whatever, and they got to survive just one night, the first thing that you have to do is it's about mindset. You have to stay calm. You have to mentally focus yourself, and you have to make a plan. And that's when you start your assessment. So it's basically, all right, this is the situation. I accept it. I'm going to stay calm. I need to make a plan. I need to assess this situation. And the best thing, if you get lost or it's a plane crash or whatever, is to stay right where you're at, because that's where people are going to come looking for you. And now I need to assess what supplies do I have around there. Do a pocket check. What do I have on me? What is around me? What did I get stuck with? If you don't have anything, that sucks. But you have some things, gather it all up, and what can this stuff be used for? Then the next thing is you need to get a shelter going. So mindset, then shelter. You want to, if you're not going anywhere, you got to quickly put up some kind of a shelter to protect your core body temperature. You want to try to make it waterproof. And if you have to trap heat because you're in a colder situation, like a debris hut or something, button it down so your body heat can hopefully try to warm that place up. So shelter's critical. Number 3, if you can get a fire going some way, somehow, that's what you're going to want. And then collect up enough firewood to keep you going. And when you pile up your firewood, if you look at it, you think, I got enough, make it twice as high because you probably don't. And you're going to want to have enough firewood to help keep yourself warm. And then you want to process water. If you have a water container, great. Find a water source. If it's raining, you might want to put out some kind of rain catches to keep water going in your system because you're going to be stressed. That'll dehydrate you faster. And once you start getting dehydrated, your brain doesn't start making good decisions. And for one night, you don't got to worry about food, And then I would say, so you got mindset, you got shelter, and you got your fire and your water going. The next thing is put out something that will help people find you. If you have like a contrasting colored sheet or a towel that's white, hang it up on a flag so people can see that. That's not natural in the forest or something. If you're in an area hoping that planes will come by, put out an SOS. Make sure the color contrasts with the ground. And get some kind of signal out there so that if people are looking for you, they can find you. And then also, don't wander off. If you don't know direction sense, you can't figure out which way to go. You got to figure out that. You can wait for that the next day. And then hopefully at night, maybe you've seen some lights off the ridge where there's a town. And you can I tell people, if you see some lights off in the distance, that's the only lights you see, grab a stick and point it towards that direction because you won't see them in the morning. And then if you generally head in that direction, hopefully eventually you'll find what was ever making those lights. You'll listen for noise or whatever. But if it's super far away, chances are that straight line is going to get a little whacked. So, and only head out if you're absolutely desperate that there's no hope.
Do you
That's
travel
somebody finding you?
Do you travel at night in that scenario?
Normally, no. And the reason I say people don't travel at night is because a lot of animals and predators are nocturnal, and they're going to be out there. The bears come out, the cougars. In other countries, it's worse. In Africa, you got all kinds of problems. So traveling at night can be very hazardous, even if you have a flashlight, and even if you're making all kinds of noise to try and scare stuff away. But you got to flip that too. Now, if you're in a desert situation, a lot of times the moon will come up and it'll look like daylight out there because there's not a lot of trees blocking anything. And if you're trying to make headway to a location that you might see in the day during the desert, it's very hot. At night, it's a lot cooler, better for travel. You just move a little bit slower, more cautious, and take the precautions. In a desert situation, let's say out southwest, there might be some snakes out and about. Normally, a rattlesnake's going to let you know. You're going to hear the rattle. But if there's some other kind of a snake that doesn't have that alert system, that could be problematic. So you just got to – it goes down to risk versus reward in a lot of cases too. Is the reward worth the risk I'm taking? Make a good risk assessment, and then you go. I'm not saying you wouldn't normally – there are situations where you might consider traveling at night, but 9 times out of 10, you're not going to travel at night.
There you go. Survival tactics from the man himself. EJ, thank you very much for coming on. It was an honor. I'm a fan, and I can't wait to see your other ventures take shape.
Well, I appreciate it. I appreciate it. And again, go to ejsnyder.com, sign up with your email. The videos I put out there, what's your life worth? People try to put prices on things. It's absolutely imperative. The Ultimate Bug In and Home Defense will teach you how to be prepared for bad days, whether it's a hurricane, a nuke coming in there, war. And, that particular video will help you get the bug in ready and teach you about defending your home in the process to protect those things. My Survival and Outdoor Skills series will teach you the basics of survival. You can watch it at the leisure of your home. I teach it in little step-by-step methods so that I'm teaching you something about water. You can stop the video and you go out and you can practice it. And It's very easy to learn from, and again, it's invaluable. If you can't afford to go out and get a survival class, these videos will get you through it. My YouTube channel, Survive with EJ, will get you the rest of it, where I put out little snippet videos and tutorials and tips. A lot of videos on there about me just enjoying life sometimes, but levity is the thing that keeps us in a survival situation, and sometimes life is a survival situation. So good mindset, a good attitude, and staying positive will get you through anything, whether you're facing a life-threatening illness, relationship issues, having struggles at school or work, or dealing with a friend. You just have to have the right positive mindset, and you get through anything in life. I'm living proof of it.
Yes, you are, and you've made it so far with everything that you've done. It's been amazing just watching the journey from behind the scenes. So I can't wait to see where your journey takes you next. I can't wait to read that book. I can't wait to see your survival videos, and I definitely can't wait to taste those pickles, sir.
Yeah, Sergeant Pickle Crusher coming with the Freedom Pickles to the store near you very soon.
All right, EJ, don't go nowhere. Let me close it out really fast.
All right,
Thank you
everybody out
again,
there,
brother,
listen.
for coming on.
Take care of each other. Hold each other close. Make sure you tell those you love them. Stay positive. Plan, prepare, and survive on. Yeah!
All right, give them the EJ one more time.
Yeah! EJSnyder.com. Be there. Survive with EJ.
That was one of the best guests I've had so far, and it was an honor. I am a fan, and it was great to have him on. Thank you guys for tuning in. I told you we're going to always have a great guest for you every week. Tomorrow in the break room, we're going to be talking about, we're going to be going in the same pattern as our Halloween theme's been going lately. We're going to talk about the Warrens tomorrow, so tune in and stay tuned for that. Again, great episode. Tune into it on the archives. Make sure you play it out. Go to EJSnyder.com. Get those courses. They're going to save your life one day. If they don't save your life, your knowledge can save somebody else's life. So be sure to get as much knowledge from this man as possible. He is a gem and the godfather of Naked and Afraid. Thank you again for gracing us. You guys have a great night. And remember, if you're going out camping and trying to survive, don't take your clothes off. Save that for the professionals.